been a while since I changed oil on old Vanley, so we're going to do that today. So step one, turn off your van, pop the hood. Oh, hello! If you're watching this video, you either don't know how to change the oil in a 7.3 Power Stroke, or you are a subscriber, in which case I appreciate you watching my videos. Thank you very much. I'm not going to do too much talking because crazy neighbor is running his bulldozer across the street in the field, knocking down some ditch dirt. So oil's good and hot. There's a lot of oil in this thing. I believe it's 15 quarts. We're gonna poke a hole in the bottom of the oil filter to let that drain, and I have 2 drain pans because, like I said, it's a lot of oil. One good thing about this big piece is that you can crawl right under here. So we're gonna have to play switcheroo with the oil probably halfway through. So we're gonna get both of these pans ready. So we'll use this second pan to drain the oil filter. So we're just doing little drip drops now, and I'm gonna put the drain plug back in just because it's basically all out. So I'm gonna wipe this off. The washer on this drain plug is made out of brass or maybe copper, and it's like become one with the bolt here. So I'm not going to worry about replacing it. This thing doesn't leak, and it's never leaked since I've owned it. So I just clean everything off good and then snug it up. There are some instances where you can get away with reusing a washer on your drain plug, and I feel like this is one of them. Alright, so I've got a punch, and then I just try to get in the center of it here and give it a smack with this hammer. Hopefully this will work. Because believe it or not, there's like 2.5 quarts of oil in this oil filter. So it's a hell of a lot easier, in my opinion, to poke it and drain it this way. So we'll wait for this to drain completely. While this drains, I'm going to get the new oil filter ready, and this is an FL 1995. And I use the genuine Ford Motorcraft oil filter. I feel like that's important. I like to use a big pair of channel locks. These are specific oil filter channel locks. You can see they got like a nice big mouth, and they're adjustable. So these work really good for this type of application. Looks like the old Brizo is blowing our oil around, so let's try to take this thing off. So this is not an easy oil filter to get off unless you have a wrench, because it's big. It probably doesn't help that this thing has been on here for geez, when was the last time I changed it? 17. So sitting here for like 3 years. One thing that's kind of a pain in the ass with putting the filter back on this when you do a fresh one is it's kind of at an angle, so you got to really get it close to the pan when you're screwing it on, and it's heavy because you got a couple quarts of oil in it. So let's get the oil filter and get that installed next. Okay, so here's what we're working with. We got our big boy filter. Looks nice. I put this back in the box like so. And then I'm going to open this up. And then hopefully I can fill this without making a giant mess. Yeah, once you fill it, you're going to have to keep filling it because the element inside sucks up a lot of oil. So I figured that this is every bit of 2 quarts, if I had to guess. Jeez, now I know why people take it to the shop. Alright, so the oil that's slopped everywhere, I'm going to give it the old finger bang here and put it on the gasket. Oh! Hello! What are you doing, pal? Hey, are you looking for your chickens? You love chickens, okay. Okay, go find your chickens. Wow, that's incredible. It went down half again. Yeah, it's starting to get heavy too. And then I like to put the lid back over it, and that keeps dust and junks from getting in there. You don't want to fill it up all the way because then when you're trying to get the thing on, you don't want to slop it all over yourself if you can help it. So I'm going to put the lid on. Put the lid on this because we don't want any contaminants getting in our oil. And now we're going to take this and we're going to install it. No barcodes. Alright, so I have a clean towel. I'm going to clean the surface of the housing. And then I like to wipe my gloves and make sure there's no lint on here from the rag. And then take that same rag if you can. Make sure your hands are good and dry, or your gloves rather, so that you don't play slippy guy when putting the filter back on. But you'll feel it hit those threads. Once you get the first couple of threads started, you'll feel it lock in place. And then there's a lot of threads there, so you can kind of take it easy. So what I like to do is start getting it snug and then try to wipe off as much residual oil as you can. Might not be a bad idea to get a rag and spray a little maybe brake clean on it to wipe off this film. Because what I like to do too is write the date and the miles on the filter. So I found that if you do that last, it usually works better, because then if you write it on here and then put the filter on, you're just gonna wipe off your handwriting. I got a clean rag, and I'm just gonna spray a tiny bit of brake cleaner. You don't have to go crazy. We're not gonna soak this thing. And that's just to clean the residual jazz off of it. And now we can grab it good with our hands and tighten this thing up. That's it. Hand tight is all you need to do. And then I had a marker. And we'll put 04. What is today? 4th? Is it? I don't know. Oh, close enough. 4. Pen's getting stuck here. Oh man. Oh, you don't want to be a lefty. 20. I don't know what the miles are. I'll have to check that. I think it's 190 something. Let's go see what that is. There we go. I was told by the internets that I was correct. There's about 2 quarts of oil in the oil filter. So if we know that the whole thing takes 15 quarts, we could subtract 2 from 15 to get 13, and that's what we're going to fill the rest of the engine with. Alright, so that was 12 plus the 2 in the filter's 14. We need 1 more quart. Alright, so that was our last quart. And then I'm going to get some silicone paste because that looks a little dry. Put some on there. Alright, so I'm just gonna clean some of the goo off of this. And I'm gonna hit it with a little... What do you got there, bud? What do you got? What do you got? Your little biscuit? Okay. Eat your biscuit, bud. That's good, pup. And yeah, I mean, I guess you don't have to do this, but I figure it doesn't hurt to put a little silicone paste on there. There we go. Alright, let's take a look. Oh yeah. Looks fine. Alright, we'll get old Dippy Stick back in here, and then it's time to fire it up. Yo, you want to do road test? Road test? Come on. Hop it. Go ahead, jump in there. Look, you jump there and then you jump up. Go ahead, try it. What? You want to go in the back? Oh, come on. Get in there. There you go. No, I'm driving, not you, boy. I mean, girl. Woo! Sounds better already, Pep. No, it just... Mark. So yeah, oil changes are fun. Make sure you wear your gloves. You don't want to get warts on your hands. I appreciate all the new subs. The channel's growing really small, but you know, that's okay. Thanks for watching.